God never came to burden us, but comes to lighten our burdens. Dear friends in Christ Jesus, the Gospel passage of today deals with some of the crucial areas of the teachers of the law, which are very often have similarity in our lives too. The 23rd chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel begins with Jesus turning the attention of his disciples and of the crowds towards the scribes and Pharisees. So, focusing on the life of religious leaders and their practices, I would like to share with you 4 statements from today's Gospel passage to reflect ourselves and to examine our life. The first statement is, they preach but do not practice. In this regards, we are called to examine ourselves. How often are we in the habit of telling virtues to others but fail to practice them ourselves? How often do we love to advise goodness to others but fall short of trying to be good ourselves? How often do we want the whole world to be changed but reach nowhere in trying to improve our own self? The second statement is, they lay burdens on others but lift not a finger to help. In this regards, we are called to ask ourselves, how often do we expect others to achieve perfection but fail to do our own activities with zeal and passion? How often do we impose others to be good and holy but indulge ourselves in the deeds of corruption and sin? The third statement is, they practice deeds of religiosity to be seen by others. In this regards, we are called to evaluate ourselves. How often do we parade our acts of charity before others in order to boast our index of popularity? How often do we go vocal in boasting of our own achievements in order to become great and famous? The fourth and the last statement is, they love places and titles of honor and respect. In this regards, we are called to evaluate ourselves. How often do we seek the best places in the society and in the church and try to make a peripheral show of our status? How often do we grow attached to places and titles of glory and develop an unconscious love for vain glory? Dear friends, if we find ourselves fallen in these aspects of our life, we need a God's grace to change our life and our character. And the season of Lent or grace is the best time to change ourselves and to accumulate God's grace in our life. Therefore, today the call for all of us is to work for cause and not for applause, to live life to express and not simply to impress. So let us learn together from the school of Jesus to pick up the talents of service and kindness and live a life of total humility and simplicity. Amen.